Pues vale, vamos a jugar un ratito a esta cosita. Continuar. Igual deberíamos sacar el chat, ¿verdad? Del stream. La. Aquí está el chat. Vamos a seguirle a esto.
Sigurd learns that Brynhild had once disobeyed Odin, and so he had her punished, stuck her with a sleep thorn, and put her body on a rampart of burning shields.
Ahí está, eso es.
Only a man who knew no fear would ever reach her.
No,
But like me, Sigurd is fearless and passes through the flames, just as I did, and wakes the sleeping warrior girl. She teaches him the secret wisdom of runes, namely victory runes, ship runes, runes for persuasion, runes for truth, runes for healing and help, runes for perception and power. Like Sigurd, the greatest young warrior of the north, you must learn the secrets of the runes to fight against the gods in hell.
Sácatelas. Se nos va a apagar, se nos va a apagar.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming.
Ay, chin. Córrele.
Dillian, I see you. The beast has Dillian. No.
Ahí está la bestia esa.
You're not taking it from me.
I can smell you.
No.
Betrayed your god.
Stop
I
it.
am leaving with him.
Turn your back on me.
Venga.
Why Dillian will rot in hell. Come into my shadow.
Oh. ¿Dónde está la luz? Ay, no manches. Está. Uy. ¿Dónde estás? Hija de su... Uy. ¿Qué fue eso? Come on.
She won't make it.
Toma. Ah.
I can't see her. Then listen. Listen. Slow.
Oh.
Yourself. Darkness. Breathe the darkness.
Uy. Rayos. Vamos, 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 levántate.
She's injured. Look at me. I can't do it.
Ahí está. Ah. Se me olvidó que me tengo que concentrar. Uy. Focus. Toma eso.
Maybe God is still. You can stop breathing. He's still in darkness.
Toma esto. Toma eso. Toma eso. Ah, mierda.
Get up quick.
Uy.
She's injured. Maldita sea. Rápido. Ahí está. A Wilson. No manches. Ya tiene todo su brazo negrito de las veces que he perdido. Sácatelas.
People think of evil as an unnatural, invisible force, and so invoke the gods for protection. But evil can come from the hand behind the gods. A familiar hand, cold and cruel. He tried to fix her with his rituals, kept her trapped in that hole. She couldn't say which was worse. The darkness. Or the monster that her father had become. She couldn't fight them both. And so she left, headed for the one ray of light that shone down on her. If she had stayed, she wouldn't have survived. But maybe Dillian would still be alive.
I'm so sorry, my love.
She will save his soul. Even if this time she can't save her own.
Sácatelas. Esas Senuas. Senua.
Forgive me, Senua. I know you have no reason to trust me anymore. But believe this, it was my mission to make you hate. To hate the darkness with a passion so great it would focus your mind on this quest. For without it, I fear you would have let go of this life. All this time, I've wanted to protect you from the truth that would have destroyed you a long time ago. But you have conquered your darkness at every turn. You deserve to see behind the veil of darkness.
Then take me to the mountain. He wants her to trust him. As deep as we can go. No.
I won't stand in your way.
She has to trust him. Follow it.
You will not survive what is in there.
I know. What else can she do? Nothing. She doesn't want to touch. She has nothing. She has nothing. She's come this far. She wants to go forward. She must. This speaks. She wants to save Dillian's soul. She must listen to the shadow. Keep going, Senua. It's too dangerous to resist. Lie down. Destruction means the end.
Hay una escalera.
Hannah's gate.
Oh. ¿Qué es eso?
Mother,
¿Verdad?
I won't let the darkness trick me again. I know you're safe with the gods. I can feel Hannah's gaze, searching for secrets inside of me. Secrets that even I can't see. I'm not here to fight my past. I'm here for Dillian. I will fulfill my vow, whatever the cost.
¿Por dónde será?
It's broken. She has to fix it. It's too dangerous. She's done it before.
She can't fix it.
She's done it before.
She can.
She can. She'll do it again. How will she do it? There must be a
So
way.
you have to try.
Ah, a lo mejor parece esta cosa. Esta puerta de acá.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end. They call this Ragnarok, the destiny of the gods. First, there will be a terrible winter, 3 years long. Then, mankind will turn on itself. Brothers will fight each other to the death, and people will forget what they owe their kindred. Times will be hard. Crimes will be great. It will be an age of axes and swords. The wind will blow through abandoned halls. Wolves will walk where children played. The world will fall to ruin.
Ahí está, mira.
She did it. She did it. She did it.
Uf, 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 uf y recontra uf. Venga. A ver.
Finish this. Now.
Ah, ya me esquivan también estos perros. Ay, hay uno de esos con escudo. Joder.
She's ready. Focus. Focus now.
Uy, 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 uy. Ay, güey. Sigue su madre.
She will die.
Toma esto. Toma.
It's the only way.
Ah,
Do it. You're close.
ahí está. Ahí está. Ay, no manches.
How will she do it?
¿Cómo ya cerró la puerta de la nada? ¿Qué pez?
How's she going to find his actual soul? Where does Ella keep her souls?
Uy.
How will she get it? What will Ella want in return? She must bargain. No. She'll kill me. She cannot bargain with Ella. She's not strong enough to kill Ella. What does Ella want? No one can bargain with Ella. What does Ella want? What can she give her? She could give her her own soul. No. Sounds rotting. She'd rather die. It's a worthless soul. But it's all she has to give. She has a warrior soul. What more could she give? A cursed soul. Of course she is, no matter what she does. She can feel it. She can see it. The bridge. She can't cross the bridge. It's broken. She has to fix it. It's too dangerous. She's done it before. You have to fight on. Be powerful. The final battle. Get his soul back. It's the final task. Yes, it is.
This isn't just a broken bridge, is it? Mother, you showed me how to see further. To see the hidden wonders in our world and explore new paths into the unknown. To lead so that others may follow, or to warn so that they may avoid. That is our gift and our duty. I'm not going to look away in fear anymore.
¿Es por ahí? Ok, aquí que... Ah, mira, hay otras escaleras para arriba. Ahí está, mira.
She can do it.
Ahí está.
She can still see the secrets of the gods. She thinks
Of gods.
so special. Can do it. She must see. She has the sight. She can see their secrets.
The Northmen say the gods will fight their last battle at Ragnarok. Their watchmen will blow the horn that can be heard through the whole world. And Odin will speak with the severed head of Mimir, which gives him good counsel. The land of the giants will thunder with the sound of their army on the move. The gods will assemble. The dwarves will leave their stones. The frost giants will come from the east. The Midgard serpent will turn up the waves. Eagles will scream
Mira, ahí está.
and tear at the corpses with their yellow beaks. The ship of the dead will set sail.
Ah, mira, hay una puerta. Órale. Ok, vamos para allá. Órale.
The Northmen say that at Ragnarok, the gods will face a ship full of their foes, which Loki has steered to Asgard. It carries the fire giants, the wolf that will eat the sun, and all kinds of dark creatures. Surt will join them with his sword of fire. The cliffs will crash, trolls will walk the land, men will tread the road to hell, and the heavens will split open.
Vamos a abrir esta puertita de una vez, ¿no? Aquí. ¿Será más arriba? Ahí. Ay, vamos a ver qué llega aquí, pues. Saltar. Ahí. Oh, hijo de eso. Ah, perdón. Uy. Uy, muévete. Uy. O sea. Uy. Oh. Toma esto. Oh. Toma eso.
Take him down. Take him down. Get down. Go! Fight again. Spill their blood.
Está. Ah, no manches. Vamos a los trancazos mentales. Ya reparamos el puentecito. Vamos a continuarle. The secrets of the gods. Es que más. Vamos a ver qué hay más arriba, ¿no? The Northman says. The Northman.
The Northman said each god will do battle at Ragnarok. Odin will fight the monstrous wolf and be killed, but his son will avenge him and plunge his sword into the heart of the beast. Freyr will face Surt, but he had given his sword away for love, and without it, he cannot defend himself against the flames. Thor will smite the Midgard serpent to no avail. The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, steam will shoot up, flames will play against the sky, the heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and the people everywhere. Senua, prepare yourself for Ragnarok. For it is nigh.
Órale pues. Nos rifamos, no hay pex. Uy. Toma eso. Uy. Ah. Uy, qué trancas me metí esa cochinada. Uy. 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 Rápido. Échate eso.
Behind you! Watch out! Sights, watch out!
He's stronger than you.
Oh. Mendigos. Ah. Ay, ¿cuántos son?
You're close. Finished it.
Está, no manches.
She's the path to Hela.
Uf.
Where is she now? She's getting closer to Hela. She's going to die.
I'm scared.
Wait. What happens when she... Wait.
What?
What happens when she dies?
What happens to us?
What happens to us?
We die too.
Do we die too?
We die too. I don't want to.
We'll all die someday.
I don't want to die.
And when everyone's gone, even the gods will die.
I don't want to die. We don't want to die.
I don't want to die.
Senua, stop. Turn back.
Stop. Stop her.
Why stop her?
Why would she stop?
To die. She wants to stop. Stop.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I'm sorry. I didn't ask you to be a part of me. If you don't want to die with me, then leave me alone.
I don't want to die. Please stop. 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 Please stop.
You'll never come back if you go there.
There is nothing to go back to.
We only have each other now. Don't abandon me.
Everyone suffers. They were right about me.
Listen to me.
Not then.
They were afraid. Like children scared of the dark.
So was I.
They made up monsters to fill the void. That doesn't make them real.
They made them real.
No!
Follow your soul and let go of the Senua of old. For there lies your weakness, and the darkness will find it.
It's not like the old stories, is it? The noble warrior facing evil in search of victory and honor. Clear dividing lines. No. Oh, this place is not quite like that. It's as if it knows that true torment lies within. Memories you cannot defeat, cannot escape. This is her hell.
Mother!
Be like this. Turn away, Senua! Turn away, Senua!
You see it, Senua? You see the darkness, faces fear and suffering. You can see it.
I remember it clearly now.
She has nothing to fear anymore. The gods have saved your mother. Through my hand.
You killed her.
It is the will of the gods.
Fuck the gods! You did this to her! Why?
This is what happens when you listen to the voices of the underworld. They crawl into your soul and rot you from the inside. Defy the gods like your mother, and the darkness will come for you too.
Le quemaron a su mamá, qué poca. Sácatelas.
I do understand. You cursed me with your own madness. I was just a child. You created this darkness! You created this darkness so you could hide behind it!
Only suffering brings salvation. It is the way of the gods.
It was all a lie. You are a lie! She didn't defy the gods. She defied you. And so you killed her.
You didn't pray to the gods. You prayed to your mother. Your mother, who was too weak to fight the darkness and abandoned you.
You tortured her. You killed her. You are the darkness.
Those rituals, the years of isolation, the pain that still haunts you. It was the only way to fight the curse within you. The darkness is inside you and it will destroy you.
You're a liar!
No, Senua. The darkness is here. You can't wish it away. And it will watch as you draw your last dying gasp.
I won't let you kill me! Ah!
Be careful, Senua. Be careful, Senua.
Uy, perros.
Watch out.
Uy. Ah, es que les mato a uno y... Es que les mato... Uy, pues de su pinche... Son un montón. Hijo.
Watch out. Watch out.
Manches, son un montón. Uno que se muere un poquito más fácil ya.
Behind you. Watch out.
Uy.
Behind you.
Uy. Toma eso, papá. Toma, patadita. Ey. Toma. Eso.
I can see through your darkness. You're a liar and a murderer. And if you really are Hela, then I have a sword here that can kill a god.
Ah, ¿qué es eso? What's happening? What's happening?
Look at you. Running forward, moving backwards to wallow in your miserable past. You're making a mistake searching for Dillion. The same mistake that killed him in the first place.
Venga, otra batallita, ¿no?
I'm trying to save you from yourself. You still believe it is a lie. The plague of darkness, the butchering of Dillion by the Norsemen. You saw it yourself.
You told everyone I was cursed. They believed you. I believed you.
Tell me, Senua, where is Dillion's soul if the darkness is a lie? How you saved him?
He's here. I know he's here. Dillion, I know you're here. Hold on. I'll find you.
Ahora los jefes. Ah. Ahí está el del fuego. Entonces, no manches, contra los dos al mismo tiempo. Contra todos estos jefes. Son los tres, ¿no? Perros. ¡Uy! ¡Y! Ya bailó. ¡Oh! Perras. Cochinadas. Eso, perro. Uy.
Darian! Where is he? You're trying to trick me again with your lies. I know he's here. You took him from me. You have him!
Sácatelas. A ver, no está tan grande.
Or what? What can you do to me that you haven't already? Fight me! Come on!
Your own father. You betrayed the gods in search of billion, in search of love. Look where that's
perros.
Let go of your battle. Let go of redemption. Let go of Gilead. Don't let your darkness.
Ay, perros. Es un montón.
Watch out.
Uf. Este para atrás, este está para atrás. A ver ya, el superpoder. Hijos, de todos modos. Uy. No mames. Ay, no veo nada.
Watch out.
Uy, 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 uy. Es que son muchos. Uy, 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 uy. ¡Y perro! Dales a esos. Ah. Uy. Ah. Dale eso. Uy, oh. No manches, no manches. Me van a dar la M. Hazte para atrás, hazte para atrás. Velos a todos. Ah.
Watch out.
Uy, 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 uy. Es que no se mueve, no se mueve. No alcanzo a ver a todos.
Watch out.
Ah, perro.
Behind you. Watch out.
Ah, perro.
Behind you.
¿Otro de esos? Ah, maldita sea.
Surrounded, Senua.
Uf. Ah.
Careful, Senua.
¿Cómo le hacen para...? Es que no se acaban estos. Uy. Uy.
Watch out.
Ah, maldita sea.
Watch
Mendiga vieja esa. No manches, no. Es que está mi perro esto. Para atrás, para atrás, para atrás, para atrás, para atrás. Ya me acabé de los poderes, yo creo. Hijos. ¡Ah! ¿Otro de estos? Es que ¿cuántos? No manches. ¿Cuántos más? Peña, ¿cuántos más? No tenemos de los locos ya, parece. Uno fuera. Y... es que por cada que mato... no manches.
Go off your battle. Stop. You're killing yourself. Behind you.
Manches.
Behind you.
Ah. Toma eso, perro. Uno fuera. Ese fuera. No manches, es que no se acaban estos. Ahí está, otro fuera. Otro fuera. Ah. Perros. Es que no se termina esto. Otro fuera. No sé si echarme mejor a los sencillitos. ¡Oh! Es que mendigos. Afuera y entra otro, ¿no? Yo creo que la estrategia es mejor hacer parry y vámonos. Triángulo. Parry. Ah. Y triángulo, órale. Y el que sigue, el que sigue. ¿Quién sigue? Ah. Uy. Esto fuera. Venga. Toma. Eso. Y toma. Eso. Otro fuera. Toma. Uy, perro. Uy, espérense.
Watch out.
Ah.
Careful, Senua. Behind you. Careful. Watch out.
Ah. Otro fuera.
Careful, Senua.
Es que vuelven a aparecer.
Behind you.
No manches, no se acaban estos. Ah, que la canción.
Careful.
Ah. Ah.
Watch out.
Fuera.
Careful.
Ah.
Behind you.
Es useless. ¿Cuántos más tengo que matar? No manches.
Behind you.
Mira, lo mata y vuelve a aparecer detrás de mí.
Watch out. Watch out. Careful.
Otro fuera.
Watch out. Careful, Senua. Watch out. Senua.
manches, ¿a cuántos más? Ah, no manches.
Behind you. Let go of your battle. Behind you.
Se para allá, me digo.
Surrounded Senua. Careful. Watch out. Watch out. Careful. Careful. Behind you. Watch out.
No manches, ¿es que vuelven a aparecer? ¿Sí tengo que hacerla así, a casa?
Watch out.
It's not useless. It's useless. ¿Dónde está esa cochinada? Es que no manches, esto no termina. Yo creo que mejor le apunto a esa tipa, ¿no? ¿Ya cuántos maté? No hago nada.
Careful, Senua. Behind you. Be careful, Senua. Watch out.
Oh,
Let go. Go, Senua.
manches, ¿ya cuánto duró esta batalla?
You're killing yourself.
¡Ah!
Behind you.
Uy,
Watch out. Let go, Senua. Let go. You're going to die.
¿qué te digo? Vuelven a aparecer y vuelven a aparecer y vuelven a aparecer. ¿Cuándo tiene fin? Ya por lo menos ya no apareció el de la chota, ¿no?
Watch out.
Ahí está el de la chota otra vez, no manches. No manches.
Go off your battle. You don't have to fight anymore. You're killing yourself. Watch out.
Ah,
Behind you.
manches, es que... Entonces, ¿cómo quieren que termine el juego? Tengo que fijarme las... ¿Cuántos tengo que matar? Es que no... Esto no tiene sentido. No solo...
You're surrounded, Senua.
Ah, es que... Como que te atorda esa chingadera. Como que la mona esta te aturde.
Careful. Careful. Behind you. Watch out.
Ay, no me dejó hacer mi ataque.
Careful, Senua.
¿Cómo más le puedo hacer? Es que neta ya duró mucho, ¿no? Ya quién sabe cuántos me eché.
Watch out. Watch out. Careful. Be careful, Senua. Watch out.
Están los mismos de siempre. 2 escudos, 2 masitos, 2 cabritas, el hachero y el achotas y el hachitas. Están toda la pandilla. Afuera y vuelve.
Surrounded, Senua.
Así como lo resuelvo entonces esto, o sea,
Watch out.
no estén jodiendo. Ya basta.
Watch out. Behind you.
Ya me cansé. Eso.
Behind you. You're surrounded. Behind you. Careful. Watch out. Behind you.
O sea, el chiste es que pierda o qué? Que me canse y que pierda. Ok.
Watch out. Be careful, Sam. Behind you.
¿Cómo se pasa eso?
Watch out.
Pues es que ya fue mucho, ¿no? Ya está me harta la música. Todo está chido y todo, pero pues ya cuando dura tanto. Está uno afuera.
Behind you. Careful, Sam. Watch out.
Es que no parece que hayan, o sea, ni siquiera. What can I do? ¿Se supone que me tengo que rendir o qué? ¿Cómo le hago?
Be careful, Sam.
Es que si por lo menos. Si por lo menos desaparecieran, empezaron a desaparecer algunas clases de monstruos, significaría, no, pues no sé, que ya llevas un avance, ¿no? Por ejemplo, ahorita va a volver a aparecer el de las dos hachas. Si no aparece, ok, ya estoy avanzando, ¿no? Pero si vuelve a aparecer, yo digo, pues ya va. Esto no tiene fin, ¿no? Mira, ya no están apareciendo los... Ahí está el de hachas otra vez, o sea, te digo que... ¿Qué sentido tiene esto? O sea... ¿Qué pedo? Neta no entiendo qué pex. Ahí está el hachitas otra vez, o sea, te digo... Si empiezan a aparecer más hachitas o algo así, o sea, matas uno y significaría que, o sea, al final pues te vas a enfrentar con puros cabrones, ¿no? Pero, o sea, si no aparece nada. O sea, ahorita vuelve a aparecer. O sea, ok, ahorita se tiene un ratito el contador de los hachitas. Pero, o sea, luego vuelve a aparecer, ¿no? Estoy el hachita. O sea, es que si ese fuera el caso, estarían desapareciendo más, pues ya no vería tantos, ¿no? Por ejemplo, tantos de a pie, no sé. Estas trochitas. Y ese sustituyó por el que maté. aparece la chotas. No, su puta madre. Ya me cansé. Esto en vez de ser... Bueno, o sea, siento que esto ya está exagerado, ¿no? O sea, sí es batalla final y todo, pero... O sea, se supone que tengo que morir. Pues no me están poniendo las condiciones para que muera. O sea, estoy aguantando infinitamente. No creo que, o sea, sea un super jugador. Pues para no morir en una parte donde tienes que morir, ¿no? O sea, siento que algo está mal aquí. Ya después de cierto punto deja de ser pues divertido, ¿no? O sea, ya está inmersivo, pues ya me harté, pues ya me fastidié de estar mate y mate y no ver cambios, pues. ¿Qué está pasando? Si alguien conoce la respuesta, por favor, dígame qué pex. Es que, o sea, ya intenté ver a la mona esa y no se le puede hacer nada. También no me quiero dejar morir porque qué tal si... Ay, bueno. Sí, va a llegar un punto en el que ya me deje morir, pero todavía no. Todavía aguanto otro rato, pues. Y ahora sí ya me mataron.
Let go, Senua. Let go of your battle. Careful. Behind yourself.
Ya por fin me van a matar.
Careful, Senua. Let go, Senua.
Super Saiyajin. Fuera. Super Saiyajin.
Let go of your battle. You've done enough. Stop. You're killing yourself.
Chen, ya no sé qué hacer.
Behind you. Watch out.
Ya por fin me van a
Let go
matar.
of your battle. You don't have to fight anymore.
Ya me rindo.
You're killing yourself. Careful. Behind you.
A lo mejor se me los echo a todos de una sola pasada. Cierto, no he intentado eso,
Going to die. Watch out.
A ver, vamos a ver la guía, porque creo que estoy haciendo algo mal. Sí, no, esto está muy raro, ya duró mucho. Vamos a buscar una guía por internet. Es una sacrifice guía. Batalla final. Yo, yo creo que esta es la batalla final, ¿no? Mira, este dura media hora. Ujú. Sí, mira, estamos en la batalla final. ¿Y ahora qué tenemos que hacer? Bueno, aquí en teoría ya está con todos esos cuates. O sea, ¿cómo sé que ya va a...? Por eso que sí nos tenemos que dejar morir, ¿eh? A ver, sigue matando, sigue matando. O sea, a lo mejor lo que tenemos que hacer es matarlos a todos en un solo combo. Es lo que está haciendo ahorita. Ahí como que la tumban. ¿Y qué? O sea, you've done enough. Ya, te dejas matar. Ok. Ah, es que no manches. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevo peleando? Ya simplemente es cuestión de dejarse matar.
Let go of your battle. Let go of the
Ahí está, ya. No manches, no va a ser. Y yo matando y matando como menso. No, pues ya. Que- Entonces soy muy chingón. Es tan difícil y no me lograron matar. Me tuve que dejar matar. Ay. Pues se me hizo raro, pues. O sea, deberían de darte más. Ponértelo pues mucho más cabrón para que. Pero digas, pues nada, esto está imposible, ¿no? ¿Cómo sobrevives? Pero ya, pues yo, ¿cuánto tiempo sobreviviendo? Y no sabía que me fueran a matar. Pero, no es porque me harté. No más que pues no me quería dejar matar porque qué tal si perdía de veras y... Eso sí no me gustó del juego. Es lo único que no me ha gustado hasta ahorita. Es lo único que no me ha gustado. Pues, te digo que te lo hubieran puesto más difícil, o sea, más imposible para que... No, teniéndome peleando como tonto. Así como la batalla final del Crisis Core, del Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Pues donde, pues sí, o sea, por más que luches, Creo que también te dejas morir. Ya no me acuerdo, la neta. Bueno, no sé, el chiste es que es imposible, ¿no? Y de todos modos ya sabes que Zack se tiene que morir. Pero aquí, pues, bueno, también el juego se llama Senua Sacrifice, pues por algo se va a sacrificar, ¿no? Senua, por su amado, yo creo. Algo así me explicaron también ahí que él vivirá.
And there's no darkness. But you never took him from me, did you?
Pero bueno, a ver, vamos a concentrarnos.
And I can't save Dorian. Is that what you want me to believe? After all you've done to me? And to him? You're not a lie, but you're a liar! You crawled into me to confuse me and deceive me. But I know he's here. I know you have him. I'll give you my life. That's what you want, isn't it? My soul. Take it. I'll be a slave for you. I'll fight with you at Ragnarok. If you release it. But if you won't, you will have to kill me. Because I've got nothing left. No fear. No hate. No quest. Nothing. And you will have no power over me.
Sácatelas.
I learned the hard way to not be afraid of death, Senua. Because a life without loss is one without love. You turn your back on death, and all you can
Hola.
see is the shadow that it casts. The longer you hide from it, the longer the shadow grows until all you can see is darkness. When our time comes, we must look death in the eye and embrace it as a friend. Only then can we let go of our fear. And emerge from our darkness.
Never forget what it is like to see the world as a child, Senua. Every autumn leaf is like a work of art. Every rolling cloud a moving picture. Every day a new story. We too emerge from this magic, like a wave from the ocean, only to return to the sea.
¿Es ella misma? Sí.
Goodbye, my love.
Do not mourn the waves, the leaves, and the clouds. Even in darkness, the wonder and the beauty of this world never leaves us. It is always there, waiting to be seen again.
Oh no. Oh. It's the rot. The darkness is back. The darkness is back.
The darkness is back.
Wait. What is it? It feels... It's different. It feels... okay. Is it okay?
This is where my story once began.
It's different.
And so it has to end here,
It's changed.
because I cannot see further than this.
Follow us. We have another story to tell.
My friend, go with her. This now will be your story to witness. Goodbye.
Achis. No lo capté la neta. O sea, al final la que sí se murió fue la Hela. Ah, me van a bloquear el video. ¿Cómo se bloquea el sonido? Red. Ay, qué cosas. Está locochón, pero no entendí. A ver. No puedo saltar los créditos. Mm, Entonces, a los radiadores. Will Angel. Thomas. Está bonito, me gusta. No, esa batalla final, la verdad, la debieron haber hecho más difícil, o sea, para no estar ahí como tonto, quién sabe cuánto estuve como unos 40 minutos, 50 minutos ahí peleando a lo menso para saber que pues nunca lo iba a lograr, ¿no? O sea, que ya se venía a venir porque pues no, nomás no acababa, ¿no? Pero pues, ay, no sé, pues fue lo único que no me gustó. Pero de ahí en fuera, la verdad, sí, sí me gustó, está bonita, está bonita la historia, pero también, bueno, también no entendí el final, ¿no? Ahorita voy a tener que ver una explicación. What does that mean? O sea, pues obviamente es mucho simbolismo, pero, pues, o sea, solo era la lucha de Senua. Y si viaja a una tierra, o sea, pues supongo que eso sí fue real, ¿no? Lo que podemos decir que no es real es pues las batallas, todas las batallas, pues se ve que pues, los monitos desaparecían así de la nada, aparecían de la nada, entonces todo eso estaba en su cabeza. Los acertijos, o sea, el lugar como tal, a lo mejor pusieron templo a un lugar abandonado, ¿no? Que de alguna forma, pues alguna persona le debió decir, no, pues allá viven los dioses, ¿no? O allá es el Hell, ¿no? Ah, pues ya por eso se lanzó allá para intentar revivir a su novio, ¿no? Que también, la verdad, no entendí, me perdí y ya no entendí cómo se murió su novio. Llegó la plaga y creo que lo mataron los vikingos, por lo que entendí. Llegaron los vikingos y mataron a todos así en su pueblo y cuando llegó ella, pues ya estaban todos moridos, ja, muertitos. Y ya, pues por eso quiere ir a revivirlo. Y al final, pues yo creo que ya lucha mucho con sus voces interiores y se da cuenta que pues que no puede revivirlo, que todo es una mentira, ¿no? Y ya la que se murió, en realidad fue la Hela, la señora quemada esa, ya pues se muere en el sentido de que pues ya la dejó ir, ¿no? O algo así. Pues eso es lo que es como yo le doy sentido, ¿no? Hasta ahorita en mi mente, con la información que pude recolectar, que pude procesar. Pero pues, o sea, se me hace así, pues, pues sí, pues está interesante la batalla, pero pues no se me hace así como que, wow, ¿no? O sea, con ese sentido que le estoy dando, entonces a lo mejor, que bueno, también no hay que esperar un sentido súper profundo pues, en un videojuego, ¿no? Que pues, claro, no, o sea, no porque sea un videojuego no va a tener algo profundo, pero all of our fans supporters of making Hellblade possible. Si quieres saber más sobre la psicosis y los trastornos de salud mental, visita Hellblade. Ok, psicosis. Ok, entonces lucho con su psicosis, pero al final, obviamente, pues, o sea, no sé si eso se cura o no, y menos, pues uno solito, pero al parecer ella hizo su sacrificio simbólico y ya lo dejó ir. O sea, hizo su luto de alguna forma y quedó libre. O sea, eso es lo que, pues, puedo entender más o menos. A ver, vamos a ver el reportaje de Hellblade. A ver, vamos a... Ahí, ahí
He's dreamt of this
ahí
before.
está.
It's coming.
Oh.
They say dreams are visions of our memories, thoughts, and fears, as seen by our inner eye. But what if each one of us is always dreaming, even when awake? And we only see what our inner eye creates for us. Is this what hell is? A world shaped by Senua's nightmares. Maybe that's why people fear seeing the world through our eyes.
Yes, she's scared.
Because if you believe that Senua's reality is twisted, you must accept that yours might be too.
Ok. Senua Psychosis.
Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is a video game about Senua, a Celtic warrior on a vision quest into Viking territory. But what sets our hero Senua apart is that she suffers from severe psychotic mental illness.
He knows she's getting closer. He can feel her coming closer. She's getting
The original idea for Hellblade was to create a classic hero's journey, a journey of suffering, but one where the fantasy world is not another planet or alternate universe, but a world that is constructed in Senua's mind.
Ah, sí, le hicieron el halcón a
psychotic mental illness at the center of the experience.
A su novio,
a
sí,
subject
cierto.
that is still considered taboo, and a challenge that was both terrifying and exciting in equal measure. In Hellblade, the starting point was a newly discovered Celtic goddess called Senua in Ashwell, Hertfordshire. When first discovered, her name was thought to be Senua, a name which I liked and kept. I wondered if Senua might have been a Celtic warrior like Boudica, who stood up to the Romans. While the Romans had conquered all of Europe, there was a group of Celts up in the furthest reaches of the Roman Empire that could not be conquered, the Picts. And so the Romans built a wall, called Hadrian's Wall, that spans across Britain from sea to sea to keep the Pictish barbarians at bay. The Picts were known for their war paint, painted on with woad, and their matted hair clumped with lime. And so Senua would be a barbarian Pict in this image.
What's your name?
Senua.
I haven't seen you before.
I don't live home much.
Oh, Zeno's daughter.
I have to go.
Wait.
Orkney is off the coast of Scotland and was inhabited by the Picts, steeped in history and mystery, and so I made Orkney Senua's home and set the stage for a crisis. In the late 8th century, the first Vikings landed on the Orkney Islands. The population of the Picts crashed thereafter, replaced by the Norsemen of the 9th century. Were they wiped out? We don't know for sure, but it would seem likely given the reputation of the Vikings. The Northmen's brutality is legendary. High-ranking leaders and chieftains of the tribes they conquered were often offered as sacrifice to their gods. The most brutal of these sacrifices was known as the Blood Eagle. I imagine Senua as a young female warrior who returns home from exile to find her partner, Dillion, brutally sacrificed to a Norse god by these hellish warriors from a faraway land. I imagine the horror of this moment and how it would have dragged her deep into mental torment.
No!
Sí, pobrecita.
I came to learn that the Celts had a sophisticated and nuanced perspective on the nature of mental disorder. One term they used was Gelt. A Gelt is a man or woman who has been driven mad by a curse, battle trauma, or grief. The Gelt would take to a life in the woods in search of penance, punishment, and purgation. And so Senua became a Gelt, cursed by darkness, looking for redemption in the wilds. Another word the Celts used in reference to mental disorders was druth, meaning fool, or
liar,
one who utters the words of God. They tell of the mad sinner who flees battle into exile and takes on a beastly nature, growing feathers on his body. The character called Druth in Hellblade is based on a little-known person called Findan, an 8th century Irish Celt who was captured and enslaved by the Vikings, but eventually escaped to Orkney where he became a monk.
I will tell you my stories of hell, if I may walk with you.
Upon meeting Senua, it would be his stories that fuel her quest deep into their world of gods.
The Northmen say the world will come to an end.
The sun will grow black, the earth will sink into the sea, the stars will disappear, fire and water will meet, flames will play against the sky.
The heavens and earth and all the world will be burned, all the gods will be dead, and the warriors of Valhalla and people everywhere.
For Ragnarok, for it is nigh.
So the stage was set for a new adventure, a journey into the Norse underworld called Hell, a vision quest fueled by madness and myth, a fantasy that was created by Senua's own mind, and one that we would experience through her eyes.
This is your mission. This is your quest.
There
is nothing else left.
To make a game about a warrior with psychotic mental illness as its central theme was fraught with danger. Mental illness such as psychosis is still taboo and rarely acknowledged in a century of cinema, never mind the new medium of games. Where it does feature, it often conflates psychosis and psychopathy associated with a lack of empathy. It is unfortunate that these two words sound so similar that they are used interchangeably in media. I must admit that I didn't have to look very far to discover my own ignorance of the subject. So we reached out to Paul Fletcher, psychiatrist and professor of health neuroscience at University of Cambridge.
Psychosis is a descriptive term, and it refers to having a loss of contact with objective reality. So it's characterized by two main sets of symptoms. One of them is hallucinations, where somebody experiences perceptions when there is no actual objective thing out there to perceive.
You're already dead. Who are you?
And the other is delusions, where somebody comes to very often bizarre, unpleasant, frightening beliefs when there's no good evidence in favor of them.
There's no doubt about it. The source of the darkness is in Helheim. And the goddess Hela holds his soul there.
We reached out to Welcome, a biomedical research charity that spends billions on research and awareness programs aimed at improving health.
Mental health hasn't always been presented in the media in a way that is particularly helpful. It can be challenging to engage people with the subject matter, and there are a lot of preconceived ideas about mental health, and particularly schizophrenia and psychosis. So we hope our support allows the team to continue to collaborate with Paul Fletcher and with those who have experience of psychosis to create a game that provides a fresh perspective on the condition and allows audiences to engage with it in a way that just wouldn't be possible in any other medium.
What started out as a brief consultation convinced me that we were only scratching the surface of an immensely deep and interesting subject that could enrich and change the very nature of the game.
That's cool. Thanks so much for coming here. Pleasure. Thanks. It's really interesting for me. I'd love to be involved. It's fascinating.
Our understanding of psychosis is still very much a mystery, and ways of treating it are still primitive compared to physical illness. After all, it is easy to see the pain and suffering caused by physical diseases or physical trauma. It is not so easy to see the mental suffering and trauma of severe mental illness. But what if we could find a way to see it? Games are capable of drawing you in for hours on end, playing the role of a character who is different from you, experiencing their perspective, and actively involving you in a world that functions with a different set of rules. If we were to represent Senua's psychosis, we would have to simulate voice hearing, a common attribute. But how can we simulate something we have no first-hand experience of? Professor Charles Fernyhough, a leading expert in voice hearing from Durham University, offered his help.
Hearing voices is an experience that is usually associated with severe mental illness, and crucially we know that hearing voices is a part of ordinary life for many people who don't meet the criteria for mental illness.
Yeah. Oh, that's not him in real life.
We know voices vary according to where they appear in space. Voices can appear far away in the distance, they can appear right there in your ear, they can seem to be coming from inside your head.
Based on the information Professor Fernie Ho provided, I put together a sound brief and invited some actors to the studio. We recorded the actors using a binaural microphone, which records the 3D spatial position of sound, replicating the way sound is heard by human ears. It gives you an incredible sense that the person you are listening to is right there beside you. Rachel Waddingham from the Voice Collective came to our studio with 2 young voice hearers to speak to our team. We talked at length about their experiences and they listened to our tests, giving us feedback on how we could improve on it.
Everyone hates her. She's cursed.
It's very hard to represent what this experience is like, partly because it's such a personal, intense, emotional experience. It's testament to how Ninja Theory have been listening to what the researchers are saying, but also, crucially, listening to the experts by experience. What they've come up with is so compelling. It's by far the best representation I've heard of what these experiences are like.
Other common attributes of psychosis are visions and flashbacks. We met with Recovery College East, who work with and care for people recovering from severe mental disorders. A group of service users gave us their first-hand account of what they experience.
Sometimes when the visions or what we're seeing is too much, it becomes more difficult until eventually we perhaps don't see anything.
The people we spoke to, the stories they told, were fascinating, harrowing and mind-boggling. The reality of what people experienced was vivid, far exceeding what I could possibly have imagined. We went away itching to represent some of these visions and flashbacks in the game.
Órale. Entonces, ¿van a explicar el final? Everything is in bits like a photograph that started. If you move, it's frightening. Deep in me, insanity does unfold. Colors seems to be brighter now, almost as if they are luminous. Sometimes the world be like a kaleidoscope, and it can be beautiful. As we all know, my heart is so far away. Don't you know how I wanna feel deeper? I could never know how you grow all these days. Melting of the walls and make me feel nauseous. Like this, read like this. I just wanna live that song. I just wanna feel deeper, deeper. I just wanna feel deeper, deeper. Son como testimonios de, obviamente yo creo que ocultarán sus identidades para
To refine our work, we continued to hold meetings with Recovery College East over the course of a year and a half, showing them what we had achieved so far and refining the in-game representations based on their feedback. With their help, flashbacks, visions and changes in perception were woven into the story and gameplay of Senua.
The students that are involved in this project are incredibly excited about being involved. They have described the experience as being important because it values their lived experience and shows that despite what we have been through, all of that experience becomes valid, that actually it's something that we should all be talking about.
The experiences described range from beautiful to frightening beyond comprehension. I heard of a girl who has to live with an angry voice screaming at her, slamming on her doors and walls 24 hours a day. I met someone who would often see hanging corpses in a room, so real that she would sometimes try to rescue them. The panic and fear that comes with such visions is entirely understandable, and it can be a living horror for some.
Worthless, weak, pathetic. Go on, feel sorry for yourself, because there is no one left to do that for you.
I was urged by one fellow that we should not shy away from showing this horror, and so I was perpetually torn in making Hellblade. Had we gone too far with our representations or not far enough?
broken and lost. Just like your soul.
Come on.
In some ways, voice hearing and visions were the low-hanging fruit, so to speak. There's another aspect of psychosis that is much harder to explain, but one that I think video games are uniquely able to represent, which are often called delusions.
People begin to see patterns in the world. They begin to link things that most people wouldn't link. Most of the things that we might think would be coincidence or, not worth commenting on. Nevertheless, that might have a particular salience or importance for them.
One individual described how everyday words, sounds, colours and objects were steeped in meaning to him, forming a strange and sinister puzzle that he was determined to solve but could not quite get to the bottom of.
It's not just brain dysfunction. It's not like the system shut down. It's actually an incredibly creative process. The person creates a world populated with voices and phantasms and terrors, and they're completely immersed in it. They believe in it.
We often invite people into the studio to play the game. In one of our playtests, they played through much of the game, making associations between runes, secret messages, and the threat of darkness that stalked them. There are many things that happen in the world of Hellblade that make perfect sense within the context of Senua's mind. The dark rot that's killing her slowly from within, the secret runes of the gods that block her path to Helheim, and strange associations that exist in the game to confuse you. To complete Senua's quest, you have to internalize and accept the logic and meaning behind these things to progress. Afterwards they said that they didn't see much evidence of mental illness in the game. People with delusions of all sorts would argue the same thing, that they are not aware of their experience being abnormal in any way.
I need this sword. It's important.
Representing perception changes and thinking patterns within Hellblade gives us a set of symptoms common in psychosis. But people with lived experience were keen to emphasize another point, that it is wrong to define a person by their symptoms. Quite often, the illness comes not from the symptoms, but from the stigma, isolation and mistreatment that comes about from the rest of society.
They say that I'm cursed. What if they're right?
I needed someone to portray Senua, someone who could believably internalize her suffering. Melina Jurgens, our video editor, had been a stand-in for Senua over a few months while we perfected our motion capture techniques. Without realizing it, she had already auditioned for the role, and I knew her well enough to know that I didn't have to teach her to act, but to relive her own internal pain. As often is the case, those who have suffered mental anguish are never far from us. My hope is that by creating a compelling and aspirational character in Senua who feels very much real, albeit in a fantasy setting, we can provide a lens into her reality, a different one to yours, and this is where storytelling comes into play. I imagined her life based on common threads in real people's lives. She was always prone to psychosis as a child. Her mother Galina also heard voices and had visions, so perhaps there was a genetic aspect. Or perhaps it was cultural, as she lived within a world without science, of gods and a superstition, as exemplified by her druid father Zimbal. Psychosis developed in her late teens to early 20s and was exacerbated by stigma and isolation at the hands of the clansmen and her father.
El druida.
It's spreading.
The trauma of seeing her lover Dillian sacrificed tips her over the edge, making her remodel her reality around a concept that connects everything. The darkness. So the question, is what Senua experiences real? Can only be answered by saying, yes, it is real. It is her reality.
All of her suffering will have been for nothing. It's just a matter of time.
Towards the end of the project, service users and professionals that had collaborated with us were invited to see the near-final game. It was a chance to see if the game had reflected their views or if it had misrepresented them.
For me, being involved in especially developing Senua's character has been really important, and being able to bring in my perspective and what I see and what I hear, and having that built into the game has been a real privilege. It's gritty and it's meaty, and there are some tough subjects in there that are being tackled with honesty. I was blown away by it today, absolutely blown away. It was just fantastic to get the opportunity to use our lived experience in a very creative way. There's nothing tokenistic about the work we've put in. It feels like we've been listened to, things have been taken on board, and I think there was a lot of realism in the game itself, and it feels very authentic.
Hellblade will give people a good experience of what it's like to hear voices and have those experiences. I'm glad that the guys at Ninja Theory have asked us to come along and help them build an experience that's positive when it comes out, and get myself a copy and have a go.
I think all the way through I was really inspired by how the conversations have translated into the game in a way that I think I didn't imagine was possible. So wonderful, really wonderful.
I really hope that others will follow the lead they've set and use the power of something like a video game to change people's perceptions, to increase understanding, and ultimately to make some of the stigma around voice hearing and other experiences go away.
For me, it was really exciting to see something that I explore scientifically being represented so beautifully in a
Yo pensaba que escuchar voces era la esquizofrenia.
The mysteries of the environment in which they've been placed, with all of this strange uncertainty and noise and conflicting information that they're getting. I'm very excited by this way of trying to represent mental illness, because I think it actually might be offering us insights that we wouldn't get from pure scientific explorations, and actually giving us quite an empathic view of what it might be like.
Mental illness has been with us for as long as we have been on this planet, but why? Why hasn't evolution stamped out this weakness from within our gene pool? I often pondered this question until I realized that the question had an inbuilt flaw. It assumes that being and thinking differently is a weakness. The only reason we have computers, spacecraft, medicine, poetry, art, and yes, even video games is because individuals were able to simulate new abstract realities in their minds and share them with the rest of us. We need people to be willing to see differently in order for us to progress and survive as society. And we need to be open to these new ways of seeing. And it is this spirit that motivated me to create Senua's story and share it with you.
Qué locochón. If you would like to find out more about security mental health, Hellblade help info. Vale. Sí me gustó, la verdad lo recomiendo. Y ya nada más hint al... Bueno, nada es que sería spoiler si lo recomendaré, ¿no? Pero... Que bueno, si vieron este video es porque ya se spoilearon todo, ¿no? Pero... Cágala, está muy bueno. Sí. Pobre Senua. Pobre Senua. Bueno, nos vemos hasta la próxima. Chao.